first episode of Practical Tactical Shooter. Today I'm going to be doing your basic unboxing of the Glock 21 Gen 4 45 caliber Glock semi-automatic handgun. So this is everything you get in the case. You have your case itself with your standard egg crate foam padding to protect the weapon. Case closes, has these little lock mechanisms. You know, it's your typical Glock firearms case. Now, what you get in the case. 3 magazines. These are 13 round double stack magazines. Your Glock Handguard Adapters. So if you don't like the fit of the handguard, you can use one of these adapters to make it wider, to give this little curve to better fit your hand. However, if your problem is the handguard or the handle is too big, well then you're kind of up the creek because these only make it bigger. However, one nice feature is they've got these here with the big tails. So if your problem is you're getting your hand too high on the gun and it's getting nipped when the slide comes back, this will help protect you against that. So that's cool. And they also give you a little Allen tool in there for helping to put it on. Then you get your standard speed loader deal. I don't really use these very much, but basically the premise is you have your magazine here. I've got some rounds in there. This slides on top of there. You pull that down, it depresses the spring and the rounds. You slide another round down here on top. That goes up, slide that round back, and then you have your round in there. I don't really find these that faster, but I guess if you have problems with grip strength or hand strength, then these can really be beneficial when loading these. One thing to note about the Glock mags, especially these, is when they're brand new, the springs are really, really tight. So you're going to have to break them in some before you can really easily hand load them. Especially when you start getting 12 or the 13th round in the magazine, sometimes it's pretty hard to put in there. You also get your generic firearm weapon lock. So if this doesn't come in the box itself, oftentimes the store or supplier you get it from will give you these. You can also get them free at a lot of local police departments. I will show you how to use them in another one of my videos, in case you don't know. Then you get this little ramrod. Has a little slot here so you can put your cleaning rags or cleaning cloths through that slot and run it through the barrel. You also get this cleaning brush. The brush attaches onto the end of the ramrod, like so. So when you clean your barrel, just slide it in and out, and that's how you clean the carbon away. And then of course you get your standard Glock literature, your instruction manual, the Glock company manual, and then the shell casings from the test firing they did at the factory. Now let's move on to the firearm itself. This is your Glock 21 Gen 4. It's 45 caliber semi-automatic handgun. This is the matte black. I'm not really sure if they come in any other colors. I haven't seen any on the market, but that doesn't mean there aren't any. First impression, you have the nice grip here on the handle, so especially when you get sweaty or it's hot, this really helps make sure you keep control of the gun. Here in the front, you have your rail and a little notch here so you can attach accessories here with the Picatinny rail. Oh, and just in case you're wondering, the firearm is unloaded. There is nothing in the mag well, and I have cycled the weapon, and there's nothing in the breech, so it is a safe gun. As I was saying, you can attach accessories up here, anything that attaches onto a standard Picatinny rail, so flashlights, lasers. You have your standard Glock sights up here, circle, and then the bracket. The rear sight is adjustable. You have to have a Glock tool to do it. They come factory adjusted, and so far the factory have gotten it pretty right on the Glocks I've seen, so they haven't really needed to be adjusted at all. Here on your left-hand side of the gun, you have your magazine release right here. So you hit it with your thumb, and out comes the mag. You also have your breakdown tabs here. There's one on each side. You have to pull down to break the weapon down, which I'll do here in a minute. And of course your slide release tab, or your slide lock tab. So rack the slide back, push that up, and the slide is locked back. Now with Glocks, you can't really unlock the slide by pushing this down. It's too stiff on most guns. On this one, I've worked it a little bit, so you kind of can. Most Glocks, you just pull this back, and release it. Slide walks forward because of the spring, and you're good to go. They have put in this little grip strip back here, so you don't just have to grab the barrel metal. You can grab this, gives you extra grip, especially if your hands are sweaty or if you got oil in the gun. That's really beneficial. Now, with the Glocks, like all Glocks, the only manual safety is built into the trigger here. You have this little tab you have to depress. If you don't depress it, you can't pull the trigger back. If you depress it, then you can pull the trigger. There are internal safeties to prevent against drops or accidents like that, so you don't get any accidental discharges, which are good. But if you're looking for a gun with more external safeties, then Glock probably isn't your style. However, if you want a gun that's ready to be used quickly, then Glock is the way to go because there's not a lot of safeties you have to mess with. Now, to break the gun down, you rack your slide back, lock it back, and there's these two little breakdown tabs, one on each side. You grab those and you pull them down. Now, while they're down, you rack your slide forward. And this comes the part that I don't really like about Glocks. To break them down, you have to pull the trigger. So we made sure the gun is clear. We pointed in a safe direction. I depressed the trigger. And now I can take the slide off the gun. So here's the polymer lower bit of the gun. You can see the inner workings inside. When you're doing servicing, you're going to want to make sure to put a little dab of oil down in here. It says so in the instructions. Keep those workings running good. And on these little tabs here, because that's what grabs onto the slide when it's working. Now here is the slide itself. You have your spring. This is what causes the slide to lock back after you fire around or when you want it to. So there's this spring, just pops out. And here is the barrel assembly itself. So Glock is really nice in that they field strip easy. They're easy to maintain. There's not a lot of parts to them. They're pretty simple. The barrels are easy to swap out. I've seen conversion kits so you can get different barrels so you can shoot like simunitions at 22 rounds. They also have threaded barrels if you want to add like suppressors or whatever if you have the license to do that. Or if the barrel wears out for whatever reason, then you can just swap out a new one relatively easily. That just locks in there. Spring assembly goes back in. There's a little catch here that the spring locks into. You slide that back on, cycle it a few times, and then to make sure that everything has been re-engaged correctly, you want to point in a safe direction, depress the trigger again, and that way you make sure that everything was reassembled correctly. Now, price range for the Glock Gen 4 21 Gen 4 is in the $500 to $600 range. MSRP is about $580 is what I've seen most common. You can get them cheaper than that. I've seen them as low as like $450 on some websites or from someone you know or private sales. The average is between $500 and $600. If you want to see me range testing this gun, I'm going to be doing another video here very soon where we actually go out to the range and shoot it. So that's it for now here on Practical Tactical Shooter.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you liked it. If you have any questions or comments, don't forget to leave it down in the bottom portion.
Or go ahead and hit that like button if you like the video, and hit subscribe if you want to see updates about future videos.
Also, we have some other channels we think you might be interested in. Central Aid Agency and Rolling Thunder Operations. Don't forget to check them out as well.